Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. That was super sweet of you. And if it's your first time here, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Giovanna. I don't always have this much energy, but today I have had a lot of Java, which is what I call coffee. A lot of people call that coffee. Hi, my name is Giovanna. I make lots of goofy videos about makeup and skincare and hair care, and they're always a really good fun time. And you picked such a great video to start on because today I am showing you my glowy summer base routine. Yes, I like to glow year-round. I like to glow in the fall and in the winter time and spring as well, but in the summer we gotta do things a little bit different because I have dry combination skin. It's usually very dry, but in the summer months, the warmer months, I get quite oily in my T-zone. So I like to switch up my base routine to be able to tackle those oils and keep my makeup looking super cute and fresh all day long. So if that sounds like something that is interesting to you and you want to see my glowy summer base routine, then I encourage you to please subscribe and keep on watching because it's coming at you right now. I feel like I look like a floating head today. My hair is just kind of blending into the background. I have dark hair, I'm wearing a dark shirt, but you know what? It's a vibe. It's very early 2000s. I got the butterfly necklace, I got the hoop earrings, and the butterfly clips. You love to see it. I love to see it. All right, let's get into my base routine. So the first step, and what I think is one of the most important steps, is my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter for a Hollywood Superstar Youth Glow in the shade Light 2. I love this highlighter primer. I kind of view it as both a highlighter and a primer. I use it for both. As you can see, I'm popping it on all the high points of my face. Let's be honest, I'm just putting it everywhere. But I love this product so much because it's truly the definition of a glow from within highlight. And I know a lot of products market themselves to be a glow from within, but this is the only product that I've used that is like actually a glow from within. And I think the reason for that is because all of the shades of this product are like actual foundation shades. You know how usually when you go to look for a highlight, there's like a champagne and like a pinky shade and then a bronzy shade, and that's like the only options, which is ridiculous because none of us have champagne colored skin or pink skin, and some people have bronzy skin, but it's just, it never comes in shades that make sense for your skin. But for the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter for a Hollywood Superstar Youth Glow, they come in skin tone shades. I did recently find out that they only come in 7 shades, which I think is pretty bogus because foundation ranges are typically much larger than that. At least all the good ones are. So my message to Charlotte is please come out with more shades because they definitely skew on the lighter end, and I absolutely do not think that that is fair or makes sense at all. So if you do not have this product or you do not want to support this product because it doesn't have a great shade range, then I would encourage you to just take any liquid highlighter that you have. I know I mentioned that I like that this comes in foundation shades, and I do think that's a great thing. But if you just go in with any liquid highlighter, you're gonna go over with your foundation anyway, so it's still gonna look like that glow from within. I learned this trick from Jackie Aina a while ago. She said that she always puts liquid highlighter under her foundation to make it look like she's glowing from within. And have you seen Jackie Aina's skin? It's unbelievable. It's fantastic. It's outstanding. I'm obsessed. So that's my first step done. Let's move on to my foundation. All right, so the foundation that I have been loving lately and that I think is great for summertime is the Revlon Candid Glow Foundation. I like this foundation so much because it doesn't have any added fragrance in it, and that's kind of unheard of for at least drugstore foundations. I find it so hard to find drugstore glowy foundations that don't have any fragrance in them. Wet n Wild. I loved the Wet n Wild glowy foundation, but it's so fragrance, it made me break out so bad. But the Revlon Candid Glow has no fragrance in it, and I really like it because it's the perfect amount of coverage for me. I like a light coverage, but not a sheer coverage, and I think that's an important distinction because to me, sheer coverage is just kind of like barely evening out your skin tone, and I need a little more than just like barely evening out my skin tone. But a light coverage is enough to cover up my redness but still lets my freckles peek through, and I love when my freckles peek through. And also with just my skin type, I find that the less coverage tends to flatter my skin more because my skin does tend to get kind of dry, and I just find that putting too heavy of a layer on, too high of a coverage, just draws attention to the dry patches on my skin, and I do not like that at all. And I really like this one too because it says Candid Glow, but there's no like glitter in this. You know how also sometimes glowy foundations will have actual like highlighter in them, which is fine, but most of us don't want to look highlit all over our face. Like, who wants to look shiny down here? I don't know, I certainly don't. So I like that this gives you a glow, but the glow that it gives is more so like just keeping your skin hydrated, you know? But it also sets. A lot of these really hydrating foundations don't set down all of the way, whereas this one totally does. I definitely don't need to set it with a powder. I only set my concealer with a powder. I don't need to set my full face with a powder, which is great because, as I said, dry combo skin. My cheeks are gonna be flaking away if I cover them with powder. But at the same time, this doesn't break apart in my T-zone at all. So you know what? I feel like I've spoken really highly of this foundation. Their shade range absolutely should be better. I believe they might have 26 to 30 shades. Still could absolutely be more shades in this foundation. But as far as the formula goes, I am a fan. I should mention this beauty sponge that I am using is from Raine. I only got this about a week ago, but ever since I started using it, I have been a really huge fan. It's incredibly soft. I don't know if you noticed before, like, can't even feel that. Feels incredible, feels beautiful, like being hit in the face with a small puppy or something. It's wonderful. It's very soft, triples in size when you wet it, which is always just, you know, impressive to me. And this was on sale on Raine's website. It was only $6, and they had other colors and stuff too, so I would highly recommend checking out this beauty sponge from Raine. Let's dip into my NYX Conceal Correct Contour Palette. I love using this in the warmer months, and honestly even in the cooler months, because I'm a big fan of a cream concealer. I just find that they're really easy to apply. They go nicely on my dry skin. They don't draw any attention to dry patches on my skin, and yet they also dry down enough that I feel that I can wear them in the summertime too. It sets really well with powder. It's not so creamy that it's impossible to set. That is an issue that I have had in the past with the Glossier Stretch Concealer. That one is so hydrating that when you go to set it with a powder, it feels like nothing really happens. Like, it's not really possible to set it. I don't know, has anyone else had that experience with the Glossier Stretch Concealer? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm still a huge fan, but I find that this one is much more versatile. It's much higher coverage. It comes in 3 different colors. There's a light, a medium, and a dark. And I will say they do give you a good range of colors within those palettes, so you can kind of like customize your own concealer. It also comes with correctors and with darkening shades. I'm a big fan. I would recommend trying this if you can. All right, moving right along to powder. The powder I'm going to be using is the Covergirl Clean Matte Powder. I have the shade Classic Ivory. I use this as sort of a brightener powder under my eyes and just to set the center of my face, do a little bit of pore blurring. I don't find that the powder matters too much in this situation I'm going to be doing. What matters is the puff. I find that using a puff to press the powder into your skin makes such a difference in the lasting power of my makeup. I've done it both with loose powder and pressed powder. I like this shade, which is why I use this one, but I don't think the powder matters too much. I think the puff is what does it. This one is from Tati Beauty, but you absolutely don't need to use that one. I think any powder puff will do. I just find that the pressing motion, you can maybe even do this with a beauty blender too, but I used to always just go in with a brush with my powder to press it into my skin, and I found that it would break apart so much faster than when I do it with a puff. Hit my forehead a little bit. Like I said, I have an oily T-zone. That's where the combo part of my skin comes in. So those are the spots that I'm going to powder. Put a little bit on the nose, that never hurts. All right, and that's it for powder. Now I'm gonna set it all down with a setting spray. This one is from the brand Simpl Essentials. I found it on Amazon for like $10. I really liked it because it doesn't have any fragrance in it, but use whatever setting spray you like. This one is on the more hydrating side. All right, we just want all of that powder to melt together so that it doesn't look powdery. We want the power of the powder, but we don't want to look like we're wearing powder, you know what I'm saying? All right, making great strides on my base makeup here. As you can see, I pulled my hair back a little more because we're moving along to blush and bronzer. I am so excited to do blush and bronzer because one of my favorite discoveries over the last couple weeks has been a blush and bronzer duo from the brand The Lip Bar. I was sleeping on the Lip Bar. I don't know why I was sleeping on the Lip Bar. Jackie Aina has been talking about the Lip Bar for like years now, and I'm embarrassed that I slept on it for so long because these blush and bronzer duos are incredible. First of all, the innovation. I have a whole video reviewing this. If you don't want to listen to this part, just skip ahead like 30 seconds. But the innovation of this, look, bronzer, blush, beautiful mirror. Incredible. absolutely outstanding. I love it so much. This bronzer is super, super easy to blend. It's a perfect shade for me. I have the lightest shade that they make. It's called Travel Bug, but my skin is incredibly fair, so I feel like this is a good lightest shade to have, and it comes in 5 different shades, which I think is a pretty good range for them to have, especially when it comes to bronzer. And it's really easy to blend. Like the first time I applied it, I put on way too much and I somehow was able to salvage it, which you don't see too often with bronzers. Usually with bronzers, when you apply too much, you're just kind of like on your own. You might have to start over, you might have to cover it with powder, who knows? But like, look at this, it just blends into nothing. And I think it's a really good shade on me. It has a little bit of a shimmer to it. I don't know if you can see in the pan at all. It does have a little bit of a shimmer, but it's nothing compared to my Wet n Wild Palm Beach Ready bronzer. If you've ever seen me talk about that one before, or if you know what that bronzer is, that one's like basically a highlight, whereas this one just has like a little bit of shimmer to give it dimension that you can see when I move my face. The bronzer itself is not shining at all. The highlight from underneath it is. It's not drawing any attention to texture or anything, and I'm a big fan of it. I feel bronzed, I feel beautiful, I feel like I look like I just got a little bit sun-kissed. Now the blush in here is really, really shimmery. Like they call this a highlight blush on the back to describe this, and I absolutely agree. Like it's definitely, it's too opaque to just be a highlight, at least on my skin tone, but I think it makes a gorgeous blush topper. I've also worn it on its own before, but I prefer it as a blush topper. And the blush that I'm gonna put on underneath here is from Honest Beauty. It's their cream blush in the shade Coral Peach. I love this, especially during the winter time. I love cream products in the winter time. I also like cream products in the summertime, but I just find that they don't tend to last as long because my skin gets a little more oily, which is why the Lip Bar blush comes so in handy, because it's a blush topper, so it's gonna add shimmer to this matte formula, right? But then it's also gonna set it down. What a good idea, what a great plan, what a great combination, because I really like the color from this, and the Lip Bar blush doesn't have a ton of color, but the sheen is like beautiful. That was a chef's kiss. How was that? Also, this cream blush is incredible because you can blend it over powder and it doesn't even break up the powder, and I'm not sure how the science behind that works, but I'm a huge fan. All right, now as I said I would, I'm gonna dip into the blush from the Lip Bar duo here, tap off some of that excess because she is shiny, and just set that blush down and give it a sheen. Stunning, outstanding. It's like golden, it's like a peachy golden, it's so pretty. They kind of look similar, like this definitely has similar undertones to the Honest Beauty blush, and I just feel like they go really well together. And why not get a little extra with your blush? You might think 2 different blushes isn't that excessive, and you would be correct, but may I ask why you are not just minding your own business? Maybe. I don't know, maybe think about that next time you judge me. Sorry. Sometimes I pretend to be a Leo and then my Virgo comes out and just apologizes for everything I've said. All right, let me set this face down one more time, give a little more moisture. How many times do you spray your setting spray? I feel like I always have to do at least 6, or I don't feel like I've done enough. All right, and here you have it. Here is my finished base makeup done. I love how this makeup turned out so much. I think the base looks really nice and flushed and sun-kissed, but still very natural. I don't know. I feel like I'm always tempted to throw the word natural in there just to say that something looks good, which I think reflects on our beauty industry as a whole, putting an emphasis on natural beauty being more beautiful than unnatural beauty, and that's a whole conversation you and I can have on a different day. But what I'm trying to say is I think the base makeup looks really pretty. I think it holds up really well throughout the day. Definitely I feel locked in. I feel like this makeup isn't gonna go anywhere, which is great, especially in the warmer weather months. And I don't feel like I look dry at all despite all of the powder products that I'm wearing. I hope that you learned something here today. I hope maybe I've recommended a product you might want to try. Ooh, this lip gloss I'm wearing is also from Colored Raine. The lip gloss and the beauty blender that I used today are both from Colored Raine. 10 out of 10, check out Colored Raine. Get you some butterfly clips in your life. I think they bring me so much joy. I got a butterfly necklace too. Everything is butterflies, everything is going great. I hope you guys are having a good summer so far. It's technically not even summer yet. Summer's not for a few more days, but who's keeping track? Time is a farce. Nothing is real. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on my next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye!